Hey guys, I want to welcome you back to another episode on J of All Trades. Today, I've got two vacuum cleaners here in my garage. One is a DEWALT and one is by Milwaukee. And I want to help you guys to make a decision on which vacuum cleaner would be the best choice, because I've had the privilege of using both of them and there are pros and cons to each one. So today we're going to go through those features and see which one works for you the best. As you can see, this DEWALT one has quite a bit of dust on it, and I've had the privilege of using this in my home for the past couple years. And this one, which is the Milwaukee, I just purchased it because I use it on the job site every day, and I liked it so much that I went out and got it. So let's begin. One thing to keep in mind is that both of these are 2-gallon vacuum cleaners, and to me, it seems like the Milwaukee one looks a little bit larger and the DEWALT one looks smaller. But when we turn it this way, you'll see that this guy is slightly wider and this is a lot more narrow than this guy. And so I think that's where we kind of see the difference with the size. All right, guys, so the first feature that I'm going to show you is the location of the power button. This one is conveniently located right at the top, and all you have to do is just hit it right there and you're all set to go. On the DEWALT one, the switch itself is on the top, but it's located right under this handle. And I find that when you go to grab this, you could potentially hit the power button by mistake. And so that may be a drawback there. All right, so let's talk about batteries. Now, of course, these are very portable vacuum cleaners, and that's what makes them so great. However, the battery for the DEWALT one is located right here on the outside, and you can easily take it out. And this uses the 20-volt battery. And you can also use the older 18-volt battery that you can stick in right in the back there, which is convenient if you have any of the 18-volt lineup from DEWALT. And you just slip this right in there, and that's how quick it is to switch out a battery on this guy. Now, if we look at the Milwaukee, to take a battery out, you're going to have to flip this right here. And your battery is located right in here. And one thing I don't like is that you have to squeeze here and sort of tug at this, and then finally comes out. So in terms of removing the battery, the DEWALT definitely wins this one. And this uses the M18 battery, and this could be used on many other Milwaukee tools. And that's what makes it useful, because you can take any of those batteries and just stick it right in there. But of course, you're definitely going to have to fight with that a little bit. So that's one of the drawbacks. So let's talk about the accessories. Now, let's start with the DEWALT. The DEWALT has a piece right here that snaps right out, and everything is readily available in front of you on the outside. You just grab your hose that's tucked away right here, and you could just snap this on, and you're good to go. And when you're done, you snap this right here, and hidden in the handle is this guy, which is convenient because it can just snap right on there, and when you're done, tuck it away. And your hose just snaps right in. So DEWALT definitely has a pretty good setup when it comes to the accessories. Now, for the accessories for the Milwaukee, you're going to have to do a little bit more work to get to those accessories. First, you're going to have to flip these two tabs right here, open this up. Then you're going to have to work your hose over to the side. Now you're going to have to choose whatever you want to use, which is this right here that gets tucked right away in here, and this, which also gets tucked in. Now, once you choose what you want to use, you now have to flip this back over, close it, and then you can start using it. Now, once you're done using this, once again, you're going to have to flip this open, and you're going to have to tuck everything away, which does require a little bit more work than the DEWALT, but overall, not too bad. All right, so let's talk about the filters in these guys. So inside the Milwaukee, to access the filter, you're going to have a tab here, and you're going to have a tab on the other side, which is here. And you just simply grab right here, and you'll be able to open up the compartment. And here is your filter. And this is a twist and lock filter. So to install this, you just simply line it up with the groove there and twist it in place, and you're all locked in. All right, guys, so this is a HEPA filter, and according to the website, this particular filter captures 99.9% of particles that are greater than 0.3 microns. Now, that's pretty amazing, but that's what makes it a HEPA filter. In order to clean this, it's very easy. So if you want to clean this compartment out, you simply just wash it out and leave it out to dry, or you can take something and dry it out and you're good to go. And of course, you can use both of these vacuum cleaners as in a wet or dry situation. So in order to use this in a wet situation, you'd want to remove this filter out and leave it out and then use this vacuum just like that. And that would be the ideal way to use this in a wet situation. In a dry situation with dust, you'll simply just pop this right on there and you're good to go with your dust. So with the twist and lock filter, it makes it a lot easier to just swap one out and put this right on here. And all you have are two tabs right here, and you're all set to go with this one. Now, getting to the DEWALT filter, this is also a HEPA filter in here, and it also has the same rating of capturing 99.9% of particles above 0.3 microns, which is great. So here you have two tabs, one on this side and one on the other side. And you simply just lift, and now you're in that compartment. And here, same thing. And as you can see, this has been used a lot. You just twist and it comes right out. And to install it, you just line it up with the tabs, twist it on, and you're also set to go. So as you can see, these two are very easy to open and to change the filters right out and go right back to vacuuming. All right, guys, so let's talk about the rating. And I'm talking about in terms of CFM, or the actual suction power of these vacuum cleaners. So the DEWALT is rated for 31 CFM, while the Milwaukee is rated for 45. Now, personally, I don't really notice any difference with the suction power on either of them. I think they're both great and comparable, but it's up to you whether you want to go with the higher rating one, which is the Milwaukee. So that definitely wins out on suction power. All right, guys, so to see this in action, we've got two piles of some debris here, and we're just going to show the normal operation. So with the DEWALT, plenty of suction power to pick up the debris. And for the Milwaukee, also plenty of power to pick up the debris. So as you've probably noticed, the Milwaukee was able to pick up that debris a lot faster. And that could be two things. One, there's a brand new filter in here, and that creates less of an obstruction, which actually allows it to have a better suction. Whereas this one has a dirty filter. Another factor could be that this guy has 45 CFM, whereas this one is rated for 31. So both of those factors can definitely play a role in the suction power. All right, guys, so let's put the wet vac to the test. We have a bucket of water here, and I'm gonna open this up, pull out the hose, and always remember, remove your HEPA filter before you suck up any water. Gonna twist that right out. Lock that back in place. And just in a matter of seconds, I mean, that's all gone. And here, you can see that that gallon of water is right in there. And you could just dump it and you're all set to go. All right, it's time to put the DEWALT to the test. Always remember, remove your HEPA filter. And now we're going to suck this up. And also in a matter of seconds, we were able to suck up all that water. So great performance there. So after using both of these vacuum cleaners for a while now, one of the things I noticed on both of them is that these hoses actually have a weak point right here. And that's from actually pulling on this over time. And that can actually rip here. They do sell replacement hoses, and I'm going to include a link in the description so you guys can go out there and get replacement hoses later on in the future if you need to. And the same thing happens on both of them. If for some reason you need to replace the hose, you can simply just lift the hose here, and there's a tab right here. You'll push that and lift up, and that'll pop right out. And to install, you'll do the same thing. You'll push in and twist lock it right into place. To replace the hose on the DEWALT, as you can see, the hose is easily accessible right here. And same concept, you'll twist this and pull out. And when you want to install it, you'll reverse that, put it back in, and twist lock it back into place. And you're all set to go there. All right, so let's get down to the appearance. First of all, I gotta say that the Milwaukee definitely looks a lot more stylish, more sleek, and it just has an overall appearance that looks a lot better than the DEWALT. And that's my personal opinion. Now, according to my 5-year-old daughter, the DEWALT actually looks like a bus, whatever that's supposed to mean. But hey, that comes at a price when it comes to having all this convenience of everything in front of you at a hand reach. And so it's up to you what you value more, whether you want to have everything easily accessible all around, like, of course, taking out the battery in 1 second versus actually fighting with the battery in here. But the trade-off is this looks a lot better and this just looks clunky. However, I do find that the performance of both of these wet-dry vacuum cleaners to be really good. They're really solid vacuum cleaners, and I enjoy using both of them. In case you guys want to order these vacuum cleaners, I'm going to include links in the description, and I'm also going to include links for the hoses, the batteries, and the filters as well. So I think they're a great investment, and I want to hear what you guys think about them. So leave a comment down in the comment section and let me know which one you'd like. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel so you can continue to get more videos like this one. And I'll see you guys on the next one.